We're on in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Well, hi everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Boring JavaScript. I'm your host, the Virtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and today we are going to talk about the sum method on an array. Now, what does the sum method do? The sum method will search your array and return true if it finds an element in the array that matches a condition that you pass within a callback function. And if it never finds it, it returns false. So again, simple true or false, whether it finds an element or not. Let's get started and take a look at it real quick. So here's my sum method, and I have, or passing to it, a callback function. This callback function takes 3 arguments, and I'm just needing the first argument, but I'll go through all 3 of them here real quick. The first argument is the element. This will be the actual element of the array that is being iterated through. In this case, it would be cat, dog, horse, cow, and so on and so forth. The second argument is the index of the element, and that will be numbered 0 through 8. And the third argument is the array itself. So if you're doing functional or lambda programming, pass all 3 arguments. Otherwise, don't do it, but don't worry about it. We'll discuss all that stuff at a later Boring JavaScript. Now, the key here to a sum is that it will always return true if it finds an element, returns false if it doesn't. Now, how does it know that? It knows that whether you return true or false from your callback function here. So what I'm doing is I'm testing animal, the element, against a variable called myAnimal, which has just a simple string in it. And here's what I'm returning. So I'm returning true if it matches, and I'm returning false if it doesn't match. Real simple, real quick. And so sum is going to return that also. And so I will know whether myAnimal is there based upon my particular callback function. Let's go into Node and let's take a look and see how that works. Yep, there it is. Coyote's there, the salamander is not there. Now, the fact of the matter is, this is really rotten programming, so I'm going to kind of give you a little trick here of how to make things a lot better. Now, why is it rotten programming? Well, if I had 1,000 animals, I'd be repeating this 1,000 times, and that sucks. So let's go to the second example here, where now I have put my sum within its own function. And this function will take an argument, which is the animal to check, and all I'm doing here is, again, I'm checking my animal with an element within the array against the animal I'm passing to it. So now all I have to do for checking for coyote and salamander is just to set that one variable in that one statement. Real simple, real quick. Let me show you how that works. Da-da-doo, la-da-da. Yep, coyote's there, salamander's not there. But wait, Mike, he said, isn't this just like the includes method? Well, let's take a look at that, shall we? Because I just so happen to have the includes down here. Look, there's the includes. Now the includes will search your array and return true if it finds that element in the array, or returns false if it doesn't. So I would expect cow to be there, since cow happens to be the 4th element in the array. So let's take a look at that. Yep, there it is. So the key here is why includes and sum, aren't they both exactly the same? Why do you even use sum if you have includes? Well, let's see how that works. Let's go to this other example here, and now I'm doing the same includes here, cow, but notice now that my array is a lot more complicated. It's just not an array of strings, it's now an array of objects. So cow is still there, cow is my 4th one. So let's go back over to Node and let's take a look at it. I can't type today. It says the cow is not there. Well, we know it's there. Well, the reason this didn't work is that includes will work on simple data structures, strings, numbers, things like that. It will not work on objects. And that's where sum shines. Because you're passing that callback function, you are then able to control how you're going to make the comparison. So if your array is this enormous array of objects in there, you can drill down to the nth level within that object and get the value that you need. Let's take a look at that and see how that works. I just so happen to have that code here. Yeah, let's erase the cow code. So here's my new code. Whoops, that'll be a syntax error. Here's my new code. This is exactly the same as the last example, except now that what I'm doing here is I'm checking for the type property of the object. Because again, I am passing objects here and not strings. I'm still passing a string here to my function, as you can see here with Coyote, but now I need to check the type property of the object. Other than that, everything is exactly the same, so let's take a look at Node and see what happens. Yep, the Coyote is there, the salamander is not there. So that is the power of the sum method, is that because you're using a callback method, you are able to control how that comparison is to happen. Well, thanks for watching this wonderful, wonderful, exciting video on sum. I hope I didn't bore you to death, and we will see you at another point in time.